Good morning, students. Today, in this lecture, we will discuss about the frequency modulations. In our previous lectures, we have seen what about the amplitude modulation system. So today, we will discuss the frequency modulation. First of all, when we start from the frequency modulation, before that, we will study about the angle modulation system. So suppose we have a carrier systems, that is the VC, that is equal to VC cos omega ct plus phi c. So here we will see that omega c, that is the angular frequency of our carrier signals, and omega ct plus phi c, that is equal to the angle of carrier. So that is basically when we are varying the frequency omega c and our signals are transmitted by varying the frequency of omega c of carrier signals. So that is called as a frequency modulation systems. And when we vary the phase of our carrier signals, in that duration we will call it as a phase modulation system. So today this lecture we will discuss about the frequency modulation system. So what about the frequency modulation system? Frequency modulation is a type of modulation where information or message is transmitted over a carrier wave by varying its frequency accordance with the amplitude of our message signal. So as our amplitude of our message signal will be varies, so it will be reflected by change in frequency of our carrier signals. So this type of modulation technique is called as a frequency modulation. In frequency modulation, frequency of carrier signal is varied, whereas the amplitude of carrier signal remains constant. So one thing is noted here, कि amplitude will not change. Only frequency of carrier signal will be changed according to the change in amplitude of our message signals. So frequency modulation is also called as a FM. Now what we have to see in here, this is the message signal, low frequency signals, and this one is the carrier signals whose amplitude is constant. Now we will see that as our amplitude of message signal will be changes, that will be reflected in our modulated signal by change in frequency. If our signal's amplitude rises in positive direction, so our frequency will be increases with respect to the frequency of our carrier signals. And when our signals will be goes to the in negative half cycles, our frequency will be very low. And again, this process will be repeated. So this way we can see that our frequency of carrier signals will be changed according to the changing amplitude of our modulating signals. Now we will see that message signal or modulating signal is the same. So we can see that message signal contains the information. So in this way, we can see that high frequency carrier wave contains no information. Means if we are talking about the informations contained, so that will be the contained only in modulating signals. Carrier signal is no not contain the information. It will only use for carry your information. So that is the same thing. So that is a resultant frequency modulated signal, and here it will be reflected as a reflection of our modulating signal. So carrier signals don't carry any type of information. So if we change the frequency of our carrier signals, there is no change in the message signals. If frequency of both the positive and negative half cycles of carrier wave is varied in accordance with the instant amplitude of modulating signals, so agar both are reflected in our carrier signals. So amount of change in frequency of carrier is determined by the amplitude of our message signal. So this condition is fixed. So suppose let's us we assume that there is a carrier signal has a frequency deviations of plus minus 4 kilohertz. So now what will happen? The carrier signal will moves up and down up to the 4 kilohertz. So it will be either FC plus 4 kilohertz or FC minus 4 kilohertz. So it will be the carrier signals swing between these two levels. Frequency of modulated wave is high when the message signal reaches its maximum value. Means if your message signals reaches to a maximum value of their amplitude. So at that particular point our frequency will be maximum. So Fc max. Since carrier wave doesn't contain any type of information, so if we change the frequency of our carrier wave, there is no change in your information. So there is not loss of any type of information if frequency of our carrier wave will be changed. If we change the frequency of modulating signal, so suppose if instead of changing the frequency of carrier, if we are changing the frequency of our modulating signals, some amount of information loss will occur because modulating signal contain the information. So that is the fact that carrier signal is only used for carry the information. So it will carry your informations, and if there is a change in your modulating signal frequency, your information may be lost. So frequency of modulating signal should be always constant. Frequency modulation was developed after the amplitude modulation. So there may be some modifications will be done in our frequency modulation system. So main advantage of frequency modulation over amplitude modulation is that it is more resistant to the additive noise than amplitude modulation. It is a more resistance. So if we are there is any addition of noise in our signals, so with respect to amplitude modulation, frequency modulation has a property to remove the noise easily with respect to the amplitude modulation. Since message signal contained our information, we cannot transmit message signal to the longer distances because of its low strength. So it is as usual. We have to also seen in previous lectures. Hence, we use a high signal strength carrier wave for transmit the information to a longer distance. So if we are talking that message signal takes the help of carrier signals only for your transmission of longer distances. Now we will see the frequency modulation techniques is widely used for FM broadcasting. So generally we have seen that in radio broadcasting system, we are using the FM techniques in present scenario. It is also used in radar, telemetry, seismic, prospecting, video transmission system, music synthesis, two-way radio systems, and magnetic tape recording system. So these are the basic areas in which we are using the frequency modulation system. The main advantage of frequency modulation in radio transmission is that it has a large signal to noise ratio. So since SNR large signal to noise ratio means ratio of signal power to noise power is higher in FM. So this is the reason that it will easily reject radio frequency interference better than the amplitude system. So if we are talking about the music, so generally in our music system, generally we are using the FM radio. Modulation index of the frequency modulation. So now we will see what about the modulation index. So basically frequency of the carrier signals and amplitude of message signal both affects the frequency of modulated signals. So now what will happens if we are talking about the frequency modulation index is defined as the ratio of maximum frequency deviation of carrier signal to the frequency of the message signal. So this is a basic equations where del f is the maximum frequency deviation of our carrier signals. So modulation index MF that is defined as a del f upon FM. Now we are talking about the frequency modulation deviation ratio. So frequency modulation deviation ratio is defined as the ratio of maximum carrier frequency deviation to the highest message signal frequency. So that is called as a deviation from maximum carrier range. Maximum frequency F max. What will be the F maximum frequency of our frequency modulated signals? So here we will see that Fc that is equal to plus minus del f. So what about the del f? We have to already seen del f is the frequency deviations. Means how much amount of frequency will be changed with their reference value, that is the R, Fc. So Fc के respect में what amount of deviations will be offered by our FM system. So that is basically del f, and that is equal to Fc plus minus del f will be provided. Now we will see the general mathematical expression for frequency modulation system. So since FM, so what about the FM? FM is a sine wave having a constant amplitude and a variable instantaneous frequency. So here we are discussing that amplitude will be constant in frequency modulation system, but your frequency will be varied. So as the instantaneous frequency is changing continuously, so angular frequency omega of FM wave is function of omega c and omega n. So it's since here frequency are continuously changing, so we will represent our angular velocity omega in terms of omega c and omega n. So what about the basic equation? We can see here. So ST total conclude basic equation of Fm is that is equal to EC sine F in terms of omega c and omega n. You can also write it as sine theta t. So what about the sine theta t is a function of carrier frequency and modulating signal frequency. So in a phasor diagram we can see that EC. So what about the EC sine theta? So EC sine theta is a rotating vector and EC is rotating at a constant velocity. So your EC is rotating at a constant velocity omega. So then we could have written that what will happen here. So what type of angles you are offering, that is equal to the omega t. But in FM this velocity is not constant, because in fact it is changing continuously, because we have to see that our change in carrier frequency will be responsible for transmitting the message signal. So angular velocity of FM wave is again represented in a omega c plus what type of information you want to transmit, omega c plus KEM cos omega mt. So here omega, we must integrate omega with respect to t. So what will happen? Integration of omega dt, that is equal to integration of complete equation. So we can also write it as a omega c plus k em. So now what will happen here? Since we are integrating, so that is equal to omega c. So you are extracting the omega c in outer side. So there will be the omega c in lower half part of this. And now what will happen? We have to again integrating all these things. So that is equal to t plus cos omega mt is converted into sin omega mt, and again there is a m. So that is a basic integration, as you have to already studied in your previous classes. 1 plus k em by omega c. So that what will happen here? You have to integrate the cos omega mt, and that is equal to sin omega mt. So in this way we can calculate the basic equation theta t. So that is equal to omega ct plus k em omega c sin omega mt upon fm. So as per the direction, what about the del f? So del f is equal to k into dl. So you can also write it as a del f upon fm. If we are talking about the del f upon fm, so that is a modulation index of frequency modulation system. So you can also write here mf. So that is EC sine omega ct plus mf sine omega mt. So this is a basic equation of, means here is the carrier signals omega c, mf is the modulation index, and omega m is the modulating signal frequency. So this is a general expression of our modulation index of FM wave. So we can also write, if you have to given the so sin omega mt, so this is a single tone modulating signals. So if we are talking about the xt, so xt is a single tone modulating signals. So I think there is, you have to clear what about the basics equations of our systems. Now we will move to the frequency modulation, that is also in terms of Bessel's function. So you can also, the standard equations we have already seen, Vc cos omega ct plus del f by fm sin omega nt. So now what will happen? So you can also represent it as a cos omega c plus n times of omega m t. So that is basically the G and T, that is called as a Bessel's function, and we can also represent this type of equation in this terms. So where J and B are the Bessel's function of first kind, and expanding the equation for a few terms. So we have VC J0 beta, VC J1 beta. So what will happen here? Cos omega CD, cos omega C plus cos omega MT. Again, if we are moving forward, J minus 1. So what will happen here? Cos omega C minus omega mt. So there are two parameter, Fc plus Fm and Fc minus Fm. Then Vc J2. So if you are J1 and J minus 1. So there are two factors in this Bessel's function also. So J2 omega C plus omega m 2 times of omega m, and if you are talking about the j minus 2, so that is omega c minus 2 omega m. So what we are to seeing here, that carrier frequency fc. Okay, so as our Bessel's function, according to our Bessel's function, when we are moving to expanding the equation, so these equations can be expanded. So j1 j, this is the positive and negative terms of complete will be covered by these equations. So that there may be the spectrum which we receive. So these spectrum may be increasing order. So that is a omega c plus omega c to omega m, 3 omega m. So we are enhancing the upper side of our spectrum. So you can see here there is a one sideband in Fc plus Fm, another sideband plus Fc plus 2 Fm, next sideband plus Fc plus 3 Fm, 4 Fm, and same thing is in the negative side of spectrum. So that is the Fc minus Fm, Fc minus 2 Fm, and Fc minus 3 Fm. So amplitudes are completely arbitrary. You know? So since we have not found any value for the J and beta, so we will say here again what is the basically sidebands. If we are talking about the sidebands of our frequency modulation system, so the modulation of any carrier in any way produces the sidebands. Means if you are done the modulation, so what type of modulation system you have to done, you will receive the sidebands. So FM sidebands are dependent on both the level of deviations and frequency of the modulation. Means there are two factors in which our FM sidebands are dependent. First one is the deviation. What type of deviation? Level of deviations. And second one is the modulation frequency. In fact, the total spectrum for a frequency modulated signal consists of a carrier plus an infinite number of sidebands spreading out on either side of the carrier at integral multiples of the modulating frequency. So, if you are talking about the total spectrum for a frequency modulated signal FM, so what will happen here? What about the total spectrum? So that is the consist of a carrier plus there are infinite number of sidebands generated at the. So there is a carrier plus there is a omega m, 2 omega m, 3 omega m. So in this way you have to spread it on the both sides, either positive directions or negative directions. So that is basically integer multiple of the modulating frequency, and the infinite number of sidebands are generated through the frequency modulation system. From the diagram, it can be seen that values for the level of sideband rise and fall with the varying values of deviation and modulating frequency. So, if we are talking about this, so this is a significant sideband spectrum. You can see that they are always Fc plus Fm, Fc plus 2 Fm, Fc plus 3 Fm, Fc minus Fm, minus 2 Fm, and minus 3 Fm. So, these are the decreasing order significant sideband spectrum. So, as shown, the bandwidth of a spectrum containing the significant components. So that is equal to the, this way we can receive our the different sidebands of our frequency modulation system. So this is the frequency modulation system. As we have to see, if we are talking about the amplitude modulation, there are only two sidebands. Apart from carrier. So center frequency is the carrier frequency Fc, and after then you are receiving the two sideband Fc plus Fn and Fc minus Fn. So double sideband will be received through the amplitude modulation. But if we are talking about the frequency modulation system, so in frequency modulation system there are infinite number of sidebands, and the basically places of their sidebands is integer multiple of Fm in positive side and negative side. So if there is a carrier frequency Fc, so sideband will be existing in the Fc plus Fm, Fc minus Fm, Fc plus 2 Fm, minus 2 Fm, plus 3 Fm, minus 3 Fm. So that is the area through which we are expanding our spectrum. And apart from that, we are also seeing that the amplitude of spectrum will be decreasing. So there is a tape. This is a tabular format. The relative sideband amplitude, as we are moving towards the infinite, these relative amplitudes will be decreasing. So these are the modulation index, and these are the relative sideband amplitude. What amount of sidebands are existing and remaining will be avoided in a particular bandwidth. So now this is again a diagram. You can see here carrier signals and first sideband frequency, second sideband frequency, third sideband frequency. So apart from relative amplitude versus the frequency. So now what will happen here? As we have seen, as we have to rises, our sidebands are increases, amplitude will be slightly decreases with respect to the modulation index. So that is the basically graph in which we can see here the second sideband, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. So you are, if your sidebands are increasing, regarding to that your amplitude will be decreasing in amplitude level. It may also be helpful to have some tabulated values from this. So we can see in our table that modulation index of 2.41 the carrier falls to 0. So in that particular time carrier amplitude of carrier that will falls to 0. So all the power is contained within the sideband. So we can see that all powers are contained in the sidebands only. It can also be seen that for low level of modulation index only sideband have a significant level of power within them are the first and possibly the second sideband, and after that we have to avoid these sidebands. So this is the reason how we can the sidebands are generated. Now we will see here the for small value of modulation index. If your modulation index value is varying, and if you have a small value of modulation index, narrow band FM, NBFM radio communication system, the signal consisting of the carrier and two sidebands is placed at the modulation frequency either side of the carrier. So this will be existing. Now the sidebands further out are minimum and can be ignored. So on the spectrum analyzer, signal looks very much like the spectrum. Means what will happen here? Basically, if you according to your modulation index, you have to see that there are certain significant amount of your carrier and sidebands are only considered, and remaining sidebands will be avoided or ignored. The difference is that lower sideband is out of phase by the 180 degree. So we have to also remember what will happens with the lower sideband, and it will be the out of phase by 180 degree. As the level of modulation index is increased, so as we have increased the modulation index, other sidebands at twice the modulation frequency starts to appear. So at that particular time our sidebands existing, they will exist some reasonable value of our amplitude. Okay, otherwise we can neglect ignored or neglect that particular sideband. So that is a basically only few sidebands will be considered for bandwidth consideration. At the level of modulation index is increased, so sidebands at twice the modulation frequency starts to appear. Further increases in modulation index results in the level of other sideband increasing in the level. So as we increases our modulation index value, our sideband value will also be increased. Now we will see what is the basic equations of our Parsons rule. Okay. So according to Parsons rule, if we are want to find out the bandwidth of our FM signals, so that is basically equal to the 2 into maximum frequency deviations plus highest modulating frequency FM. So that is the 2 del fc. Del fc is the maximum frequency deviations plus highest modulated frequency. So that is the basically Carson's rule. According to that we can find out the bandwidth of our frequency modulation system. Now we have to again focus on the types of frequency modulation. In present scenario, we have to see that in frequency modulation, there are infinite number of sidebands, and in practical situations, we only consider the reasonable amount of sidebands in our calculation of our bandwidth calculations, because there is a very as we increasing to the more infinite sides, the amplitude of our that particular sidebands will be decreases, and due to this we consider only the significant amplitude amount of our sidebands. When the carrier signal is mixed with the message signal, so there is a two additional frequencies are created for frequency modulated signals. So that is a process, and additional frequencies are also what type of additional frequency. These frequencies are basically our sidebands. Highest frequency of carrier signal is known as the upper sideband, and the lowest frequency of the carrier is known as the lower sideband. So this is a basic classification. Apart from that, bandwidth of modulated signal can be obtained by taking the difference between highest and lowest frequencies of modulating signal. So the bandwidth of FM signal is depends on the frequency deviation. So that is basically depends on frequency deviation. When frequency deviation is high, bandwidth required will be large. So that is a basically directly proportional. And deviation is low, bandwidth requirement is low. So according to that, there is a requirement of bandwidth. And depending on the bandwidth requirement, frequency modulation can be divided into two parts. So that is a narrow band FM and wide band FM. So what is the basic definition of our narrow band FM and wide band FM? So narrow band FM, we have to see that if your modulation index beta is very small value, that is basically equal to zero point 0.3. Okay, so it is referred to as narrow band FM. So what type of, so there is only a carrier and two significant sidebands will we have considered for this type of narrow band FM system. Now we will focus to the wide band FM. So now what will happen for beta is greater than zero point 0.3 value, so there are more than two significant sidebands. If we are talking about the lower value of beta, so at that particular time number of sidebands will be very low, and it will also work as a narrow band FM is just work like a amplitude modulation system. But if we are talking about the wideband FM, so there is a wideband FM, beta increases the number of sidebands. So as the value of beta increases, it will also increases the number of sideband. So maximum permissible frequency deviation is 75 kilohertz. If we are talking about the wideband system, so in wideband system, the frequency deviation is very high. Okay, and maximum permissible frequency deviation is 75 kilohertz. The wideband FM has infinite number of bandwidth. Noise will be better suppressed in the wideband FM. So what will happen here? How you can remove the noise from your system? Because since if you are talking about the FM, so there is a large frequency deviation. So due to this large frequency deviation, noise will be easily suppressed. It is also occupies the 15 times the bandwidth of narrowband. So if you are talking or compare the wideband and narrowband system, so bandwidth of our wideband system is 15 times higher than the narrowband system. Because of its high quality transmission, wideband FM is the used in entertainment broadcasting. We are used it. Now this is a wideband FM. It will also express as a AC exponential of, that is you can also see, you can also write this type of equation in terms of Bessel's function, and this is the Bessel's function. J and B present it as a Fourier series. FM spectra as a function of modulation index. So you have to see how many spectrum. Suppose beta value is 0.2, beta value is 1, 5 and 10. So according to that, our sidebands generation of sidebands will be increases. So if you are talking about the low value of beta, that is equal to 0.2, so that is equal to your narrow band FM is equal to the amplitude modulation system. As in amplitude modulation system, there are the three sidebands. So same, if you are talking about the NBFM narrow band frequency modulation system, there is also a three sideband: omega C, FC plus FM, and FC minus FM. When we are moving towards the further and further value of 1, 5, 10, the number of sidebands will be decreases. Number of sidebands will be increases when we increase the modulation index. But this will switch to the NBFM to the wideband FM. Okay. So when your value of beta will be increases, number of sidebands will be increases, and this will consider as a wideband FM. And when value of beta will be less 0.2, then it will be considered as a narrow band FM. So this is the different values, number of sidebands and bandwidth requirement. So this is a basic spectra of our signals. When your value of beta is equal to 0.2, so there is what type of spectrum? Only 3. When it is equal to 1, 5. When 5, beta is 5, there is a spectrum, and that is the last, and so on. So that as we increases our due to modulation index, our sidebands will also be increases. So single tone modulation system beta, that is equal to del f upon fm. So what about the beta? Beta is the modulation index of frequency modulation system. we will see the narrowband. We have to also see what about the broadband communication system. Now we will see the narrowband, as we have to also compare in wideband. If modulation index is less, then it will be considered as a narrowband system. And frequency deviations in narrowband system is approximately equal to 5 kilohertz. If we are talking about the narrowband FM, it is frequently used for short distance communication. Quality of signals will be low, so narrowband FM is used for mobile communication. So this is basically what you have to do. There is a standard equations, and that particular is part you have to just by using the trigonometry you have to open it and then again rearrange it. So according to that we can calculate the our frequency spectrum fc plus fm, fc minus fm. Further on, two types of this, three types of this. So this in this way we can generate the narrowband FM when the value of beta is very less. So you can also compare your NBFM bandwidth with the bandwidth of our. What about the pre-emphasis and de-emphasis? So now we will focus on the pre-emphasis and de-emphasis circuit. So that is basically channel noise act as an interference in FM and is uniform over the entire bandwidth. So if there is a noise in FM system, so voice and music have a more energy at a lower frequency. So we need to emphasize their upper frequency by filtering. So however, the HF emphasis must be removed at the receiver by using the de-emphasis. So here is the same thing. If you are using the pre-emphasis in the transmitter side, you have to again use the de-emphasis in the receiver side. And this is the basically channel. So before starting or before transmitting your frequency through the FM transmitter, we will insert the pre-emphasis filter, and this filter is basically a combination of RC. And after that FM receiver, after the FM receiver, we will insert the de-emphasis filter at the our communication system, because what type of changes you have done at the pre-emphasis circuit, you have to again recover at the receiver circuit. So now again we will see in details pre-emphasis and de-emphasis filter. So that is basically R1C and R1C filters. So you can see here, this is the basically characteristics of our pre-emphasis and de-emphasis filter. Since at the lower frequency side the effect of noise will be high, so we will boost our low frequency signals for reducing the effects of noise in the lower frequency side. Since you are boosting the frequency at the transmitter section by using the pre-emphasis, so you have to again reboost that particular frequency at the receiver section. So that is the de-emphasis filter. So now at last we have to see that what is the methods of FM generation. So first of all we will see that we have divided our frequency modulation system in two parts. First one is the direct method and the indirect method. So if we are talking about the direct method, so there are two types of methods. First one is the reactance modulator and second one is the varactor modulator. So these are the two methods by using we can generate our frequency modulation system. And if we are talking about the indirect method, that is basically the Armstrong method. In our further slides we will see how it will works. So first of all we are seeing about the direct method. So in direct method what will happen, modulating signal directly modulates the carrier and carrier signal is generated using a LC tune circuit. So we can see here, this is the frequency, this is the LC tune circuit. In parallel of that LC tune circuit, what will happens? There is a this LC tune circuit will generate the carrier signals. And in parallel of that, we have to insert the modulating signals. So according to that, we can get the oscillator frequency FC, that is equal to 1 by LC. So this is basic principle behind the modulation. Now FM transmitter. So we can also see here that what will happen, how you can convert your signals into the frequency modulation. So there is another method in which NBFM is converted into the wideband FM. So how you can convert your narrowband FM into the wideband FM by using the frequency multiplier. So here we will see again an example how we can convert our narrow band frequency modulation system into the wide band frequency modulation system. So just see here, this is a power amplifier, phase modulator. You have to apply the crystal oscillator frequency, and this is the audio source. We can generate the signal, and here is the phase modulator that is used for generating the NBFM signal. So that is the basically NBFM. And now this signal is transmitted through antenna. So how we can generate? So that is the Armstrong indirect FM transmitter. So you can see here NBFM. First of all, you have a NBFM signals. Initially, you have generated. After then, you have to use the multiplier. So then you use multiplier 64 for enhancing your signals. So how you can receive? So you have to given the del f1 initial level. Your frequency deviation will be 25 hertz, and now you have to convert your del f into the 76.8 kilohertz. So now here from you can calculate the multiplication factor, and by using the multiplication factor, that is basically you can calculate it. So that is a 64 and 48. So according to that, you can use this type of multiplier system for converting your narrow band frequency into the wide band. So if you are working a multiplier, so your frequency, suppose your initial frequency is 200 kilohertz. So now what will happen? You can convert by using the multiplier 12.8 megahertz, and del f is 25 hertz. So it will also convert it into 1.6 kilohertz, and these frequencies are passes through the mixer, and mixer doesn't change the frequency, it is a fixed property. And after the crossing through the mixer, what will happens here? We will reduce our frequency because we have two multipliers, 64 and 48. So we have no what type, in which range we have to switch. So that is a 91.2 megahertz. So this is a final range, and you have to opt this range. So first of all, you can't directly multiply 1.9 megahertz signals with the 12.8 megahertz signals. So now, first of all, you after crossing through this signal mixer, we will reduce the frequency, and then we will give to the second multiplier. And by using the second multiplier, our del f frequency deviation will be achieved. And now, little bit what type of carrier frequency we are using, that will be under the process, and after then we will given to the power amplifier. So this will be the indirect method of transmission. If we are talking about indirect method, so we have to require the crystal oscillator. So role of crystal oscillator is generate the stable carrier signals. Phase modulator modulates the carrier signal and the message signal in the low power range to generate a narrowband FM. Frequency multiplier is used to increase the frequency deviations and carrier signal frequency to desired level. So that is the frequency multiplier. Now we will switch to the FM receiver. So now what will happens in FM receiver? What is the working of FM receiver? So RF tuned amplifier. Okay, so that is basically how it will work. So we have to also see in our previous lectures how our super heterodyne receiver will be worked out. So that is basically based on that particular receiver. So initially we have to apply the RF tuned amplifier so that we can choose the perfectly right frequency from our system. So after selecting the right frequency, then we will use the mixer, and there is a local oscillator frequency. So we can get the difference of these signals. After then converting your high frequency signals into the IF tuned amplifier. And these IF tuned amplifier is intermediate frequency, and it will also apply to the limiter, discriminator, and de-emphasis circuit. You have to again use because we have used the pre-emphasis circuit at the transmitter sections, and voltage and tone controls and power control. So these are the basic features. By using this, we can work out in the FM receiver, and now our signal will feed to the speaker so that we can signal can be converted. So this is the path. This is the basic FM receiver system that is based on the super heterodyne receiver system. How we can generate our the signals. And after that particular generation of our signals, what will happen here? What type of processing will be performed in our FM receiver? So first of all, RF tuned amplifier, we are used to select the perfect frequency. We have we are use the mixer for converting our frequency ranges into the intermediate frequency ranges. There is a limiter. If there is any type of amplitude fluctuation, it can be removed in our limiter part, discriminator, detector part, and after then we will pass it through the de-emphasis. So now again, that is are the components which we have to use, and I also describe you limiter, discriminator, emphasis. So now power amplifier. Now what is the performance? Now we compare the FM and AM system. So amplitude is constant in FM system and independent of modulation index. Hence transmitted power is also constant. But if we are talking about the amplitude will change with modulating voltage, transmitted power is dependent on the modulation index. Transmitted power is useful, carrier power and one sideband power are useful, and one side power you can remove. Immune to noise, not immune to noise. Bandwidth is large, 2 del omega plus FM. Bandwidth is less, 2 FM only. FM transmission and reception equipment are more complex. So if we are talking about the frequency modulation system, the transmitter and receiver's cost is very high. But if we are talking about the AM system with respect to FM, the cost of AM transmission and reception will be low. So now we will see what is the advantage of FM over the AM. So now in previous slides we have compared our both systems, and now we will see advantage of FM over the AM. So why we are preferring the FM? So first of all is the noise reduction. Means there is a very less noise is introduced in our FM. We can easily remove our noise from our modulated signals. Improved system fidelity, more efficient use of power. So we can easily use our power properly. Disadvantage, if you are talking about the disadvantage, so what is the disadvantage of FM over AM? Increased bandwidth means bandwidth can be much bandwidth required for transmission of our signals and use of more complex circuits. So it is understood our circuitry is very complicated. The applications: radio broadcasting system, two-way mobile radio communication, microwave communication, TV sound transmission, cellular radio communication, satellite communication, all these are the major areas in which we can use the FM. We are talking the advantage, so all the power transmitted in frequency modulation is useful, whereas in amplitude modulation, most of the power is carrier is wasted. Adjacent channel interference doesn't take place in frequency modulations, and high signal to noise ratio will be achieved in the system. We are talking about the drawbacks. There is only major drawback is it requires wider bandwidth than amplitude modulation for transmission purpose. Application of again we have broadcasting. We have to already discuss in previous slide telemetry, two-way radio system, video transmission system. So now we will little bit see the some objective questions. So that is in frequency modulation system. What will happen, what parameter we can change. So you can see here, if we are talking about the frequency deviations in frequency modulation, so what type of definition, how you can define your frequency deviations. You have a just a formula for it, the amount of frequency deviation, how much amount of frequency deviation in FM signal depend on, so what type of parameters it will depend. Drawback of using the direct method for generation, you have to also know about it. Advantage of using the advantage of using direct method for generation of FM signals. So why we are using the direct method and there is an indirect method, means we have in our frequency modulation system direct method and indirect method. If we are working on the direct method, so your what type of parameters advantage, if we are indirect method if we are working, so what is the disadvantage, so you have to know the basic objective on this. What about the drawback of tuned radio receiver? Tuned radio receiver is a very basic simple radio receiver which we have to initially used, but presently uh, we have done some modifications and we are working on the super heterodyne receiver. So what is the drawbacks of radio tuned circuit which will be overcome by the super heterodyne receiver? Pre-emphasis. What is the process of pre-emphasis is done? Why we are doing the pre-emphasis, de-emphasis part? So basically, we have to know the noise effects are very much in the low frequency side of signal. So for this, we can remove the effects of noise in the low frequency side, and for this we have to boost the modulating signal voltage. So this is the reason. If we are talking about the de-emphasis, so it is a, again, what is the process? It is a in reverse process of your pre-emphasis circuit, because what type of changes you are done at the transmitter section, same will be balanced or cancelled in the receiver section, because we have, our target is to only transmit our message signal without any change. You can changes will be done for the easiness of the transmission. So that is not, if you are doing any change, you have to done the reverse operation at the receiver sections. What about the Armstrong method is used for generation? So what type of process we are applied for Armstrong method? So it is a direct method or indirect method. You have to know about it. What about the modulation index of FM? So modulation index of FM is given by frequency deviation about modulating signal del F upon FM. So this is a basic equation. You can also write. So I think this is our frequency modulation system, which is better than our amplitude modulation system, and due to good capability of noise rejection of FM system, we are opting our FM system with respect to AM system in our musical broadcasting system, or basically radio broadcasting system. So this is the reason why we are opting the frequency modulation system. The amplitude of our frequency modulation system is constant, and when any noise is attached to any signal, it will change the amplitude of that particular signal. So for there is a changes. So if you are want to calculate or watch to see the effects of noise, it will be only reflected by changes the amplitude of our modulated signals FM. So since our frequency of FM is constant, and if there is any variation in amplitude of our frequency modulated signals, means there may be sudden, there is a noise is introduced in your system. So this is the reason why we are opting the frequency modulation system. It is better for noise rejection. So now, okay, thank you.